I'm just trying to capture things as I think of them. Yesterday, after we got my dad turned on his side when he was still vomiting, we would try to clean him up, and we'd put a new shirt on him, and then he'd throw up again. So we'd take it off and clean him up and do it over again until we just finally just left his shirt off. And the in the midst of all of this, the guy is trying to set up the hospital bed. So he brings everything piece by piece slowly down the hall from the van, and we're like, can we give you a hand? And he's like, no, I got it. But he's just like doing the slowest job ever. And then he's working on putting the frame together, and Dad starts vomiting. So then the whole time that we're doing this whole clean up, vomit, rinse, repeat thing, the guy is waiting in the kitchen, standing there awkwardly. I mean, this has got to have happened to him before, maybe, but maybe not. And the smell in the apartment is terrible. And, he's embarrassed. We're embarrassed, but too busy to really give a shit. And, I'm running past him and putting things in the wash and running back in. And so finally, though, we had to keep my dad upright so that he wouldn't aspirate more while we're waiting for the guy to finish putting the hospital bed together. So I climbed up in the bed behind my dad and sat behind him and braced him up so he was sitting upright. And so, I just sat there with him like that for a long time and tried to kind of wipe him up from behind him. We had a little tub with soapy water and washcloths, and so we were constantly trying to wash him, and my mom went and put a little toothpaste on a toothbrush, and we just swabbed his mouth. This is before we got the little sponge lollipop things. And we also put a little toothpaste in that water too to make it minty fresh. Melissa has a lot of good suggestions, things that you would not think of if you were not a nurse, and you probably wouldn't think to mention if you were a nurse unless you were hanging out for hours and hours and hours. And Melissa showed me how to use everything in the little bag that the nurse gave me. But there's a thing, like she showed us to fold a sheet and put under him so that you can move him more easily, so two people can get on either side of the bed and then grab both sides of the sheet and then shift the patient, because sometimes, especially with a hospital bed, you want to scoot their butt way back so that, they're comfortable, so they're not like a U shape, kind of like this. You want them to be more like this. And, man, the other night when my dad was aspirating and I was trying to get him turned over and I was trying to move him, oh man, I really wanted that hospital bed. So I was really glad that we got that yesterday, because he's really, really difficult to move. And, it's weird because for months on and off, you go look at the internet or you read the materials about what to look for in the last days. And I cannot even tell you how many times I've thought, this is it, including the other night, like, this is it, this is really it. And I've been wrong every single time. And, so I'm just trying not to do that anymore, because obviously I have no clue. And, I never would have guessed that he would have sat up today, or let alone got out of bed. I don't know. It's, just on a very clinical level, it's, and this is probably something that's keeping me sane right now. I had myself a little nervous breakdown on Wednesday, so that was good. Got that out of my system. But I think one of the things that's keeping me sane right now is that I'm able to kind of sit back in kind of a detached clinical way and go, God, that's interesting. Because one of the things he was doing yesterday was, first he was sleeping with his fists kind of up to his chest like this, but with his thumb out, not in. But this is going back to infant reflexes. And then at some points yesterday, he would be lying in the bed and he would just sit there and he would just grab his toes. And he would just sit there and play with his toes, kind of like a 3-month-old baby. And it was just, wow, it's just wild. But on the other hand, like today, all day, he's been giving me the stink eye because he knows, I'm trying to hoist him around and he's just like sitting there like, Jesus Christ. Oh, and at one point yesterday when I'm sitting in bed holding him up, my friend Melissa was there, my friend Chris was there, my friend Kathy was there, my friend Garrett was there, and this guy putting the bed together, my mom, and I just looked at my friends and I said, I'm so glad that you guys are here right now. And my dad just kind of went, like, I don't know about that. I don't know how happy I am about that, but I think he realizes that their help has been pretty critical to my sanity and also just physically another pair of hands. So, anyway, just more thoughts from the trenches.